everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today we're going to be going over all the Nitrado server hosting options for the console edition of Rust. Now, before we jump into it, I want to go over why I like Nitrado over gPortal. So the big thing here, the big thing that really blew me away, and it's going to depend your use case, but I love this. If you go to custom servers here, what you're going to notice is you can actually set a 3-day runtime. You get a discount if you go all the way up to a 90-day runtime, and if you go up to 365, you get a bigger discount, but 3-day runtime, you can do 80 slots. It's going to cost you $5. So if you and the boys want to just have a good weekend and then drop the bill, you can do it, which I really do love. gPortal has some good options, but Nitrado I do like better, and also I'm affiliated with them. If you want to go down below and use the link, if you're going to sign up for a server, it costs you nothing. It'll make me a little bit of money. It'll make me happier. It'll help me turn this old YouTube thing into something that's a little bit more viable. For those of you who don't know, I'm unemployed right now, so it is really nice to get a little bit of a kickback. It takes a little bit of stress off me, and it allows me to focus a little bit more on this channel. So let's get into custom server settings. Also, Nitrado has been nice enough to help me with hosting my own server and all that, so I'm going to be doing a PvP server, a build server, and then a just generic server. But anyways, let's get into all the settings, what you should choose, and everything like that. So for me, I like 100 slots. This is how many players you can have on your server. When it comes to picking the platform, just go with the PlayStation platform. All servers are cross-play, so you can play with anybody, anytime. If they've got the next generation Rust console, you can play with them. That's not a problem. But if you pick PlayStation, you can do it all through the website and everything like that, whereas with Xbox, you've got to go through their app. There's no real disadvantage to picking PlayStation, and there is a disadvantage to Xbox. So that's my recommendation. Now, as far as where you can host your servers, you can see you can do New York City, which is closer to me. You got Miami, LA, London, Frankfurt, Singapore, Sao Paulo, and Sydney. So you've got a good amount of coverage here. The only thing missing really is South Africa, or like Africa in my opinion. And South Africa is sort of hanging out all on its own. But I mean, what can you do? I don't know how I don't know how it works for all of you out there, but I do feel for you. Now, let's go ahead and choose this package. Again, New York City, I'm going to go with PlayStation 5, 30 days, 100 slots, choose the package. So now I've got my credits here. I'm just going to go with this. All right, so the order was successful. Our server has been ordered. Let's go ahead and set up that server. All right, so now that we've got the server up, let's go into the web interface and check out all the different options that you have with the server. If you're familiar with gPortal, it's pretty much going to be the same, but this is going to be a walkthrough of everything that you can change in Nitrado and how you can do it. So first things first, your server needs to be stopped for you to be able to change the name and a lot of this other stuff. So right here for the name, that's just the name of your server. You get a welcome message. So this is just what displays when players log in, and you can say a leaving message, so you can just do bye-bye. You get the password. Here you can select your platform. That can be crossplay, Xbox only, or PlayStation only. Your first time join message. Just join message. So this is in-game notification for a player joining a server. So this is a notification received by the player. This is a notification to other players that someone has joined. You've got a rage quit message. So this is if you really want to troll people. An admin message. This is an in-game notification for when an admin joins the server. You can broadcast all admin activities. I like to always leave this on because this sort of ensures that people are going to be, that admins are going to be a little bit more, less likely to do anything shady because their actions are broadcast. I think most servers should have this on, honestly. Now you've got a welcome message. So if you want the welcome screen to be shown, if you want the text to be shown, you can turn that on. Then you've got a server rules message, and then you've got a server team tab, server rules tab, a cooldown on player reports, custom boot commands. So this is really nice. So like if you want players to spawn in with an item, or you want something to be set when the game loads in or when the server restarts, this is where you put those commands. And then you've got the whitelist. Now, let's go down to the map. So here you can have your seeds. So you can pick a seed that you see. There's tons of online resources for that, but you can pick your seed. You can set the max players. You can set the world size. And here's where you set the monuments. So a lot of people don't really know how this works, but the way it works is you select the monuments that you want to be added to the map, and if the seed has the ability to add those monuments, they will be added. If you just go through and select every single monument, they all have an equal chance of being added, and not every monument will be added. So if there's things that you don't want, I suggest you just disable those. And if you're wondering how I do this, you've got to hold the shift key if you want to just get a wide range of things, and you hold the control key to select individual sections. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this layout, but this is just how the layout works, so it is worth noting. So you can do that. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Next up, you've got the RHIB population, so this would be the population boats. You got rowboats here. You've got how long it takes for them to decay when they're outside, how long the decay delay is. You've got deep water decay. You've got radiation, so you can turn radiation off. You can progress time, so this would be if you want time to pause, turn that off. If you want time to keep going, turn that on. You got the day length and the night length. All pretty simple. Next up, you've got NPC Think. So this is just more of the moves. So you've got NPC Navigation. This affects how the NPCs just move around. NPC Think is more like how they patrol, if they shoot back, everything like that. Also, you can make the NPCs ignore players, which is really nice. And then here you've just got your population for things like boars, bears, chickens, horses, wolves. You've got junk pile spawn chances, and the slag population. So, the stag population. So basically, the way this works, and one thing to note here is, the more of these you have, the more likely your server is to be overloaded and a bit laggy for players. So if you set everything to max, it's going to be a very interesting experience for players, but there's probably going to be some lag and there could be some issues. My recommendation would keep everything simple. Don't add too many bears, too many stags, too many boars, but I do like to crank it up a little bit for just, some of the boars and horses and chickens, just to add a little bit more depth to the world. Now, down here, we've got the player options. So you can make players immortal so they can't die. This would be really good for a build server. You've got game modes, easy mode, hard mode. Those are pretty self-explanatory. Here, you've got if players can damage other players' buildings. Here, you've got if players can damage other players. So if you want somewhere where people can't raid each other, but they can still shoot each other, just turn this off, leave this on. Infinite ammo, that's pretty obvious. Then this is where you can start with a full starting magazine. So if you want players to start fully loaded, that's how you do it. Player max health, you can set this to whatever you want. Player starting health, player min starting health. Personally, I like everybody to start the same. So I always just set it to 60 and 60. You can set it to 100, no problem there. Also, you get team sizes, so you can do a max team size of 10. And if you want teams to have any merit whatsoever, limit building authorizations is a really good one to turn on. What this does is it makes sure that you can only build on a TC if you're all in the team. You can only add people to a TC if they're all in the same team. Same with turret authorizations, that's really nice. And you can limit team locks, and personally, if you want to turn personal footsteps on or off, that's really good too. If most players should have this disabled, but just in case someone's new is joining the server, it's good to just turn that on. Everybody hears their own footsteps. I don't know. Personally, it's a personal preference type thing, so do what you want with that. Now, starting items, you can have it so players have no starting items. You can enable Builder's Paradise items. This would be build items, target practice items you've got here. Free crafting means you can craft anything. Instant crafting means everything crafts instantly. Unlocking all blueprints means you have all blueprints. And here you've got workbench overrides. So if you set it to 3, nobody needs workbenches. If you set it to 1, nobody needs tier 1 workbenches. 2, nobody needs tier 2 workbenches. And if you set it all the way down, then workbenches work as they always have. Stackables, this is just setting if you can stack bigger stacks. Gather scale, that's just how fast you can gather resources. Loot scale, again, it just increases the amount of loot received. So you can set it to 0, no one gets any loot, or you can set it to 3 where people get triple loot. And disabling item damage, you can turn that on so items don't get damaged, which is always nice. Here you get helicopters, helicopter Bradley. You can change the bullet accuracy here, how long it takes for everything to display, you can change it there. You can change the bullet damage for helicopters. And a nice thing to do here is if you want to enable special events, you can do that. So maybe you want to do a Halloween all the time event. You could just enable the Halloween event right here, or sorry, the Christmas event right here, and now it's Christmas 24/7. Great. Also, it's great for Australians because you can celebrate Christmas in July, which I know you guys love to do. Here you've got your lock to create unlock time. In addition to this building demolish time, you've got the demolish hammer. So if you want players to be able to demolish their own structures freely, they don't need to blow their own walls up, you can do that. Free upgrading means players can upgrade building blocks for free. That's a crazy one. bullet damage, free construction. So you can see this is just like bleeding damage here. Then you've got arrow damage, melee damage, decay scale. So this is how the amount of decay building blocks have, basically. Decay upkeep. So if you don't want people to be upkeeping their bases, you can turn that off. This is what happens when a TC is destroyed. This is how long it's got, like how many resources a TC will suck up instantly to keep that base from decaying. This is the amount of upkeep needed for blocks. This is the max failed attempts you can have per code lock. And this is the code lock cooldown. So that's sort of all the settings. I just ran over them really quick, but honestly, if you're familiar with hosting servers on gPortal, this is pretty much all the same stuff that you get with that. You've also got your live server console tool, so this is where you can type in commands. That's not a command, I just typed in hello. I don't know why I did that. You've got your event log, and you've got your log files. You can set up automated tasks. The nice thing here is if you've got like a build server or something like that and you want it to wipe every so often, this is how you do that, right? You can set it so that every, 30 days, let's say, the server will perform a map wipe, a blueprint wipe, a full wipe, whatever you want it to do, right? So basically the way this works is you can automate all those tasks. So for a lot of build servers, especially, like players just keep building stuff. Maybe you don't have decay on and it just gets too bogged down. You're going to want to have them wipe pretty often. This is a nice feature that you can use to do that. You can set it to be automatically done. You set it, you forget it, and life is good. But that's sort of a basic overview of the Nitrado server options for the console edition of Rust. I know right now things are rough, but at some point they're going to clear up and maybe you'll want a server. If you do, please consider using my affiliate link. If there's anything I got wrong, please let me know down below. I do plan to update this guide. And if you've got any questions, also let me know. Because like I said, I plan to update this guide. And I want to add your questions or the things I missed into the next version of this guide. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, peace.